Well, the first thing that I think important myth to bust is that in order to eat healthy, you have to cut stuff out of your life,
Mm.
right? That's the thing that bums the people out the most. That's the thing that makes diets unsustainable because, human nature abhors deprivation. When somebody tells you you can't do something, your brain automatically triggers this switch that says, well, maybe just once or maybe more, right? So I've, again, sort of tried to flip that discussion around to say, could we actually add foods to our diet? What foods should we add? Because if we can focus on the foods that are supported by science that help us prevent disease and lower disease, ameliorate diseases, help treat diseases, frankly, that's foodist medicine, then we're actually doing something positive. So that's the first myth is you got to remove everything that you love. I would tell you that the opposite is true. You can actually add food that you love. And my motto, by the way, is love your food to love your health, because that's what you want to line up. Those are the two sites that you want to line up when you're actually staring at your dinner plate. And I'm sure many of you will be asking that same question. It's like, why do we get sick? What if we can figure that answer? I want to tell you how I upended that entire concept because I ask a different question now. I ask, why don't we get sick more often? Why don't we get sick more often? How come kids don't get sick, seriously ill more often? How come when we're young adults in our 20s, how come we don't develop, the huge burden of diseases like cancer and diabetes and heart disease more often? How come we don't develop these diseases until later in life? Well, asking that question inverts the entire thought process. If we knew why we don't get sick more often, then we can support those systems that keep us healthy. And so this is what I'm actually telling you. I've spent more than a decade studying this. And what I figured out is our body is hardwired. We are hardwired with 5 health defense systems that we're born with. Actually, they start forming when we're in our mom's womb. When we're born, these health defense systems are inside our body, hardwired, firing in all cylinders from day one, from the day we're born until our very last breath. And how well these systems perform really is what matters in terms of whether or not we stay healthy or we stumble and might get sick. And usually these health defense systems help us regain our health again. And so the question is, how long can we extend this? How do we support and boost these health defenses so that when we're in our vulnerable periods of our life, that we can actually minimize the risk? And what's really cool is that some of these health defense systems can even reverse diseases as well. There is some biotech or pharmaceutical company working on it to develop some drugs. I will tell you that Mother Nature has beat drug companies to the punch because there are tons of foods, more than 200 foods that I write about in my book, Eat to Beat Disease, that actually have the ability, proven ability through science and research to activate our health defenses. So what are some of the things that can activate the immune system besides drugs? I mean, there's a lot of things that can actually help our immune system, but food, is really a pretty powerful way to enhance it. We talked a little bit earlier about kimchi boosting our immune system through the microbiome, but there are foods that just can actually automatically boost our immune system by themselves. One of them is mango. I love mangoes. They're juicy, sweet, filled with fiber. They got lots of vitamins, and they also have bioactives. And I call them mango, by the way. A mango is a stone fruit, but I call mangoes and stone fruit grand slammers of foods. These are foods, a whole table of foods I have in my book that all activate all 5 defense systems at the same time, including the immune system. So you can slam it out of the park by eating these foods. Mango is one of my favorites. Tasty, juicy, sweet. You get vitamins, good minerals, and it actually contains these natural bioactives that actually can help boost your immune system. But it's not just mangoes. You got other things. Broccoli sprouts. Some people talk about living foods, right? Those are the young sprouting foods that have all the nutrients and the energy when they're just young babies. And later on, when they get older, they get distributed the energy on the whole bigger plant. Well, it turns out that broccoli sprouts have been studied to see if they can boost the immune system. And in my book, I talk about a research study where they gave young people in their 20s the flu shot. Actually, it's not a shot. They gave a flu inhaler to protect them against the flu. And it turns out that if they gave them also a couple of shots of broccoli sprouts made into a smoothie, that's it, a couple of shots of this a day, that you would actually improve the response like 20 times to the benefit protecting you against the flu. boosts your immune system. And when they even swabbed their noses afterwards, where the virus might live, they were like almost all gone. And so again, this is an example of a food that can boost up the immune response that we want to have to protect ourselves. So, you go to the doctor, you get a flu shot, but what about having a smoothie made with broccoli sprouts as well? Final food I want to talk about is really mushrooms. So, some people love mushrooms, some people don't, but everybody should love them because number one, they grow right from the ground. They suck up all those really nice nutrients from the ground. If it's growing in clean ground, we got to protect our earth, have a good planet so that our food is really safe. But inside the mushroom, there is a natural compound called beta-glucan, that is found in the cap of the mushroom that we cut up, right, and eat. And that stimulates the immune system directly. But here's a real surprise. Regardless of whether it's a shiitake mushroom, a maitake mushroom, a portobello mushroom, or even the lowly white button mushroom. But researchers have found that the stems, called the stipe, actually contains up to 3 times more beta-glucan than the cap. Cap is good, stem better. Next time you eat mushrooms, eat them both. My recommendation is take, only about a third of what your brain tells you to take, put it on your plate, enjoy what you're eating, choose the right things, and lean into the foods that you love.